Welcome to the Earth+Flax studio. We've been very busy on the outside, the exterior areas of this project. We are now moving inside. This will be the kitchen space. And I want to walk you through some of the strategies that we took on for this space. One of our biggest challenges initially were assessing the floor joists. They are a little on the slim side and we're bowing slightly in the middle. And there's different ways that you can go about addressing this, of course. Our strategy involved cutting off the ends on this side of the room because the pockets were quite damp. This wall has gotten damp over the years and that damaged the end of the joists. That is the reason why we kind of cut them off and rehung them on this ledger board. The ledger board is screwed into the masonry appropriately, and we also built up the masonry underneath, so it's supported in two ways since we're dealing with older brick. I think the more we work to secure that, the better. And you might be wondering, why didn't we just replace all the joists, right? The reasoning was if we were able to sort of salvage as many of the old joists as we could, that sort of design was sort of grandfathered in for us, and we wouldn't have to like lose space or headroom in the basement. So that is kind of the reason we went in this direction. And we used LVLs here, not only to sister the existing old joists that we could salvage. A few of them we couldn't salvage. They were cracked or compromised, but we were able to save quite a few of them. And with our LVL sort of sistering strategy here, we were also able to level the floor at the same time. Our goal, of course, is to have the living room floor run right into the kitchen and be on the same level, and it looks like we're able to achieve that. Now, we love to make our lives more difficult, and this is one aspect that made the current project a little more tricky. We wanted to avoid draining the radiator system, so we actually did the demo around the radiator and then had to be a little clever leveraging it up and supporting it underneath so we could slip this new subfloor. You can, of course, drain the radiator system. I always tell people you want to limit that as much as possible. Since I've lived here, I've drained it twice. I'm just trying to avoid having to do that again. We want to keep air out of that system as much as possible. And of course, if you have to, you have to. But we were able to avoid that in this case, and we've got our radiator positioned where we would like it and supported by the new sister joists, joist replacement, and a new subfloor. I quickly want to mention the masonry repairs. I did do a lime wash on some of these older bricks just to sort of firm up if they looked a little crumbly, as well as do some repairs where they had been damaged. The old furring strips were actually nailed directly into the wall in many places, so that had cracked some of the bricks, and now is the time to address it. They'll be all covered up and inaccessible soon. So I did put a little extra time and energy into that, and of course we filled the old joist pockets. We built that wall underneath the ledger board, or filled that up. We filled in around some of the damaged areas, especially in this corner where there'd been some moisture damage. So we pulled all that, loose, damp material or compromised material out, and we're able to use hydraulic lime mortar. We source ours from Limeworks in Telford, PA. This is 3.5, and then I actually source this sand I really like in upstate New York. For surfaces that aren't going to be visible, really need that extra strength, I like this sand because it has a wide range of particulate in it. So some finer stuff, and then all the way up to anything that we can pipe through our masonry bags. Really great combination. I've used that throughout my project for any masonry repairs, and it's holding up incredibly well. So the goal for today is to get our subfloor installed. We're using formaldehyde-free plywood. I am going to be painting the edge with linseed oil paint as we put it down. This is just a precautionary measure, especially since some of our masonry repairs are still curing. They're holding moisture, and it'll take a while for that to fully cure and breathe out. And we will be most likely gluing and screwing the subfloor down using a modern adhesive. I was a little on the fence of whether or not we would be using that. And the idea, of course, is that if we're gluing it down, It will avoid flex and movement and squeaking of your floor in the years to come. We probably will in this case, simply because that's what we've used throughout the project. I do consider it a compromise, as very few adhesives are environmentally friendly. So moving forward, we're gonna get that subfloor down, we're gonna frame this room out, and stay tuned. We're excited to make this room a little bit more cozy.